This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, a former All Blacks coach teaches the science behind sport, the results of which may be visible in this weekend's test. More trouble for an Octagon nightclub as a neighbouring business opposes the renewal of its own licence. And an infrastructure renewal project in one local suburb enters its second and final stage. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A former All Blacks coach is in town giving Dunedin high school students a talk on sports science. So Graham Henry is here for the New Zealand International Science Festival to preach the importance of science and high-performance sport. And residents can see his work being put to use in the All Blacks' upcoming test match.
Greeting young sport and science enthusiasts, World Cup winning coach Sir Graham Henry gave a talk to local high school students about science and high-performance sport. He's here as part of the New Zealand International Science Festival.
They asked me to speak at this science conference for secondary school kids, and I touched on a few points which are important in science for the All Blacks, and enjoyed the company of young New Zealanders.
Henry talked about a range of topics including nutrition, physiotherapy and mental well-being. He's at the forefront of bringing science into international rugby with his role as the All Blacks coach.
I think psychology is massive. You know, I think having the right attitude to play and the right purpose, and people being grounded and always trying to improve is critical, and that's been a part of the backbone of the All Blacks for a number of years now.
Henry is a former university student and was invited by the University of Otago's Development and Alumni Relations Office. He's here inspiring young hopefuls about the importance of sports science and give them ideas for future careers. Being held on the eve of the All Blacks test match, he'll be able to see his techniques being put to use at tomorrow's game.
The All Blacks have got some very talented people who support them, and right across the board in the management, and they're doing a great job.
He's here to kick off the New Zealand International Science Festival that starts early July. The festival will be running until the middle of the month. Annabelle Dick, 39 Dunedin News.
A Central City nightclub is once again fighting to retain its liquor licence after opposition from a neighbouring business. Living Light Candles on Stewart Street is opposing the on-licence renewal of Suburbia Eatery and Nightlife on the basis of disruption to their own business. They claim noise vibrations from live music next door caused damage to both their stock and their payment systems. They also say there have been several incidents where bar patrons have urinated or vomited in their doorway. Both the police and the medical officer of health have not opposed the renewal, and a hearing is set down for Monday. There's increasing concern about the spread of measles in Dunedin schools following several outbreaks in the North Island. The Southern DHB is reminding parents of school-aged children that vaccinations need to be up to date to prevent the spread of the disease. A handful of local schools have asked parents to check their measles, mumps and rubella vaccination records and in some cases supply copies to the school. One Dunedin High School has advised that pupils may be sent home if they present with possible symptoms and can't provide proof of vaccination. A multi-million-dollar pipeline renewal project in Kaikorai Valley is entering its penultimate stage. The second phase of the work to replace the suburb's century-old wastewater pipes is nearing completion, and while it's causing disruption to residents, DCC staff are confident it will be worth it.
Extensive pipe renewal work to replace old infrastructure in Kaikorai Valley is nearing the end of the second of 4 phases. DCC staff involved in the work are happy everything is going to plan so far.
Stage 1 and Zone 1 of the Stage 2, all the works are in roads and in the carriageways. So Stage 1 is completed in Shetland Street and part of Lynn Street. And Stage 2 is going on in Highgate and Mardale Street and section of Shetland Street.
He says the pipes need to be replaced as they were constructed in the 1900s and now have defects and dislocated joints. Groundwater is getting into wastewater pipes which don't have the capacity to hold both, risking flooding. While DCC staff say the work is tedious, they're confident it will benefit residents in the long run.
Benefits of the work, as far as the wastewater pipeline, at the same time we are increasing the capacity of the stormwater pipe, as well as we are renewing the water mains. By renewing the water mains, we are increasing the fire flow capacity in the water mains.
In this latest phase, 170 private properties will be impacted by what DCC staff say are necessary sewer replacements. Kaikoura Valley's Bishop Court fields will also be affected, with contractors digging up parts of the field.
We are going to renew the wastewater pipeline from Lynn Street and all the way to this manhole. And we are going to take the new pipeline at the edge of the rugby field. So there won't be any future repair works or maintenance work in the middle of the rugby field.
Stages 3 and 4 of the $14 million project are yet to begin, but the second stage is expected to be finished by August, and DCC staff say the entire project will be completed in 2017. Annabelle Dick, 39. Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we take a look at the ramifications that may be felt here if Britain exits the EU, and we check in with the All Blacks captain ahead of tomorrow's test match.
Generally in the winter time, one of my favourite sights is in the evening is looking out over the lights of the city and seeing the harbour absolutely glassy calm. And I think that we've just got a fantastic environment here in Dunedin. It's a great place to live, and I'm very happy to be here.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
It's Junk-Free June.
I'm giving up chocolate.
Go to junkfreejune.org.nz today and get started.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Are you within your legal rights to take one life in order to save another? Welcome to the ambiguities of law. Because whilst the law may be clear, there is still room for both yes and no.
What? No!
The decision will depend on logical thinking and the art of argument. And this is what we learn at New Zealand's first and world-renowned law faculty.
You can stop now!
I'm Latafale, and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
It's Junk-Free June.
I'm giving up the couch.
Go to junkfreejune.org.nz today and get started.
Favourite part of winter? I like fashion in winter, I like dressing up in winter, I love having scarves, and I do the same thing for my house. So yeah, it's just that layering effect, isn't it, of how we work, really.
Welcome back. A financial advisor from Southland is the newest appointee to the Otago Community Trust. Associate Minister of Finance Paula Bennett has appointed John Wilson to the role of trustee. Wilson replaces Nolene Munro, who retires after 8 years of service. Present trustees Kate Haslett of Roxburgh and Lawrence Semple of Dunedin have been reappointed to the trust for a second 4-year term. Wilson is a registered authorised financial advisor and is due to start in his new role in July. And on that note, let's take a look at today's markets. The NZX 50 has closed the day down 154 points. It's now at 6,668. The Nikkei is down over 1,200 points today. And to the exchange rates, the Kiwi dollar is down against the greenback and the yen, but we are up against the Australian, the pound and the euro. Citizens of Great Britain have voted in a referendum to decide whether or not to stay in the European Union. The vote has sent jitters through the stock markets and will cause serious financial shockwaves all over the world.
No Brexit strategy, but they're voting in record numbers. Millions of people throughout the United Kingdom have turned out to vote in the British exit referendum. University of Otago international relations expert Professor Robert Patman believes if the United Kingdom withdraws from the European Union, the effects will be felt in New Zealand.
I think the major thing would be for us, given that the EU and Britain together are a very important market for our exports, and also politically we have good relations both with key EU players and of course Britain. This is just a problem we don't really need. So from our point of view, it's a bit of a headache.
Patman says if the UK does decide to leave the European Union, the financial implications could be dire.
It doesn't make any financial sense to leave. Where are they going to get a replacement for 50% of Britain's exports? I heard someone saying, well, the Commonwealth will rally round, but the Commonwealth is not a market in that sense to replace another market.
He believes the initial idea for the referendum is a result of weak leadership from the country's Conservative Party.
I think the whole idea of referendum was, if I may say so, an act of political cowardice by the current government, because it parallels a situation where Britain had the previous referendum on the EU, which was back in 1975.
He says UK Prime Minister David Cameron has been pandering to the right-wing faction of his Conservative Party, rather than standing up to them. The final results of the referendum are due later this evening, New Zealand time. Daryl Baser, 39, Dunedin News.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, the All Blacks get in some last-minute training, and we'll take a look at the results of this week's online poll.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
It's Junk Free June.
I'm giving up the couch.
Go to junkfreejune.org.nz today and get started.
We're at 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
It's Junk-Free June.
I'm giving up chocolate.
Go to junkfreetune.org.nz today and get started.
I understand now how economics can affect global warming.
And I've found out how grass growth in New Zealand affects Fashion Week in Milan.
I can even tell you how smartphone technology affects the survival of mountain gorillas. Sorry.
Because at the Otago Business School, it's not just about the world of business, it's how business affects the world.
I'm Kim. Michaela.
David. And this is our place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
Thinking of services for older people, think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
As the nights draw in and it gets colder, people have always turned towards stories to keep them entertained in the winter. They illuminate the darkness, they entertain you, and they tickle your imagination. Whether you're reading, horrific crime novels, thrilling fantasy novels, mind-bending sci-fi, perhaps you're into the latest literary sensations, or illuminating tales of modern life. Whatever you like, we've got it here.
Welcome back. The All Blacks have had their last run around the stadium ahead of tomorrow's big match against Wales. And despite winning 2 games in a row, Captain Kieran Reid says they're not going to be dropping their guard.
The All Blacks are not letting up ahead of their final match against Wales, despite already securing a series win. The squad has had one final run under the roof at Forsyth Bar Stadium ahead of the clash, and Captain Kieran Reid says he's pleased with the current conditions.
Yeah, it's great. I think we've seen this all week. It's nice to have the roof over the heads, and certainly know what to expect. I guess the crowd and things are going to be really loud, so we'll be expecting a pretty hectic game. So looking forward to intensity that's going to be right up there.
He says there's always room for improvement when it comes to his team. While the All Blacks have beaten the Welsh in both Auckland and Wellington, Reid isn't expecting the side to just roll over.
They've been really strong and physical, so we'll get the same. They'll back themselves as well. They've certainly done that. So we've just got to try and get on top of them a bit quicker than what we perhaps have done in the last couple of games.
While Reid says he's happy to lead the side, he believes the players know what they have to do to deliver another win.
For these guys, are experienced players who are coming in. It's not like they're 19, 20. They've been around the scene for a while, so they're pretty experienced in their prep and been around the camp for 3 weeks, so they know what to do and just coming in there, in essence, go and do their role, whatever it is in the team at that stage. So they're pretty comfortable in that role.
He says the team is less focused on scoring tries with more of a strategy to take control early on. Reid's confident if they can get it right at the beginning, it'll pay off dividends come tomorrow night. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Dunedin City Council's Finance Committee is sending a councillor to Parliament to make a submission on the Healthy Homes Bill. But City Councillor and rental property owner Hilary Calvert says more needs to be done to encourage landlords to insulate their houses. This week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asked you if you think the government should do more to ensure rental properties are insulated. And 74% of you are in favour, 26% of you aren't. The movement to legalise euthanasia in New Zealand is gaining momentum, and 22,000 people have so far had their say on the call for an inquiry into public opinion on the matter. Next week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asks if you think euthanasia should be legal here. You can vote on our website dunedintv.co.nz. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. So Graham Henry is in town to share some of the science behind high-performance sport with a select group of local teenagers. Work to replace Kaikorai Valley's century-old wastewater pipes is progressing well, despite some disruption to residents. And the British exit referendum is set to have far-reaching consequences even in New Zealand, according to a local academic. It's time now to find out what's going to be in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times, and Phil Somerville's with us. Phil?
Yes, hi. Well, that Brexit vote to leave the European Union, quite a bit on that, of course. It's a big decision which will, as you said, have ramifications all around the world. We'll see how that develops as the evening goes on. Back close to home, the All Blacks, of course, they visited St Francis Xavier School, and we've got some lovely pictures of them doing their stuff there. And there are several other stories about the rugby, about some Welsh fans, and preview for the game and so on. All sorts of stuff you can imagine, and a guide that's going around the mix, giving you maps and where to do and what to be. They're mixed, of course, it's a weekend, so lots of different stuff there, a whole variety, a mix as it says. And on another front, there was a sentencing today of a formerly supposedly upright citizen in Oamaru, sentenced to 22 years, who preyed on children, and there's a big background story about him, and it's quite horrific.
Yes.
Should perhaps mention the editorial tomorrow. It's on the issue of asbestos, and over the decades, New Zealand was shameful in its neglect and its slackness on that front.
All of that and more in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times. Thank you, Phil. Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
And here is today's city view. It's taken of the cenotaph at Queen's Gardens on a beautiful sunny day. And around the city at 3 o'clock today, 12 degrees for the central city, 13 at the Gardens and 14 out on the Tyree. Well, to the situation, a ridge of high pressure is with us now, but it will be short-lived as a depression is due in on Sunday. To the forecast for the main towns on the lower South Island for tomorrow, Invercargill, Gore, Tiano and Alexandra, all relatively fine with a bit of high clouds and highs of around 12 or 13 degrees. And cloud increasing for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel, not much in the way of wind, and highs of around 11 or 12 degrees. And Dunedin tonight is going to be a little bit frosty in sheltered places with an overnight low of 0. Tomorrow sunny at first, but high cloud increasing. It will lower during the day with light nor'easters. You can expect some rain tomorrow night as well with a high of 12. And on Sunday, showers with cold southerlies and snow to 600 metres, a high of 9. So you might want to get your washing out on Saturday. And finally to the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information. High tide on Saturday morning is at 10 past 7. Low tide on Sunday afternoon is at 5 to 3. And fishing conditions are looking good for the weekend, especially at around 4:30 tomorrow afternoon and 25 past 5 on Sunday evening. And that is all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for this week. We will leave you now with some shots from the week that was, set to music by Invercargill duo Into the East. We'll see you again on Monday. Good night.
When all the colours blend as one and stars revolve around the sun, all we build will be undone inside the perfect storm. See the light inside of you and he will show you what to do. All the world will be as new inside the perfect storm. All things must pass inside the perfect storm. All things must pass inside the perfect storm. Every shade you're looking for is found upon a distant shore. You will never want for more inside the perfect storm. Mother Nature pulls us in like puppets blown into the wind. Life will end as it begins inside the perfect storm. All things must pass inside the perfect storm. All things must pass inside the perfect storm. When all the kingdoms Father's hand and cradle's hand and mother's hand. Days will end as they began inside the perfect storm. When all the colors blend as one and stars revolve around the sun, all we build will be undone inside the perfect storm. All things must pass inside the perfect storm. All things must pass inside the perfect storm. All things must pass inside the perfect storm. Must pass inside the perfect. All things must pass inside the perfect storm.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.